Hey guys, I'm Messi from WoW Weekly, and today we'll be taking a look at Kormrok in Heroic Hellfire Citadel. These tactics also apply to the normal version. The boss only has 4 abilities, but their effect will change depending on his empowerment. There are 3 pools in the room, and he will use them to empower himself. Before we get to that, however, let's talk about the core abilities. His first ability is Pound. This deals damage to every player in the raid for 5 seconds. You'll want to use a healer cooldown for this, and you will need to spread out. This is because it works like Ghoul's Petrify. While Pound is channeling, you will also deal damage to anyone within 4 yards of yourself. His next ability is Fell Outpouring, with which he will spawn purple waves of goo. You'll need to dodge these, because if you get hit by them you'll take a good amount of shadow damage. The next ability is Explosive Ruins, with which he will summon multiple explosive runes that will grow over time. If they have not been triggered, they will detonate after 15 seconds, dealing a huge amount of damage to the entire raid. However, if someone walks over it, it will deal less damage and just to that person. So you'll want to have players run over these to prevent them from detonating. They still do a good chunk of damage, so you'll preferably want players with abilities like Terrans, Cloak of Shadows to trigger these. It isn't required to have the cooldown though. We assigned 5 players in a raid to trigger them, so that the rest of the raid could focus on the boss. His final ability is Grasping Hands, which works just like the hands from Kormrok, but they spawn on you instead. To deal with this, stack up loosely and AoE the hands down quickly, because a Pound could follow and the hands themselves will deal damage every second as well. I say stack up loosely, because when the hands grab you, they will also deal damage to anyone within 4 yards of you. During the encounter, Kormrok will jump into 3 different puddles: purple, green and orange. He will also jump to the closest puddle that he hasn't been in yet, until he's been in all 3. When he does this, he will empower one of his core abilities and gain a special ability to use on the tank. When he uses this ability, the tank will also gain the Fell Touch debuff, increasing magic damage taken by 50%, so this will require a tank swap. So, when he's empowered by the purple puddle, the Fell Outpouring ability will spawn waves of goo from all of the puddles instead of just the purple puddle. To deal with this, you want to stand to one of the sides so you're not in the middle of every single wave. He will also gain SWAT, which will deal a fair amount of shadow damage to the tank and knock them back until they reach a wall. This further promotes standing off to one of the sides with your back to the wall. You do not want to be thrown into one of the 3 puddles because this could kill you. When he's empowered with the orange pool, the explosive runes will keep respawning unless they explode near other runes or are the last one. When the rune explodes, it will respawn in the direction that your character is facing. So when the original runes spawn, you'll want to face the middle of all the runes and push them towards the middle. That way they will come closer to each other and stop respawning. The tank ability that he gains is called Explosive Burst. He will root the tank, and after 10 seconds they will explode, dealing a moderate amount of fire damage to anyone within 40 yards. To deal with this, your entire raid will have to move away from the tank. Abilities such as the Transcendence Teleport for monks will still work, but not all tanks have such abilities. And then finally, when he's empowered by the green pool, the hands will pick up every raid member and attempt to throw them into the pools. Once again, stack up loosely and DPS them down before the hands can succeed. Slows and stuns sadly will not work, and the tank ability that he gains is Foul Crush, with which the tank will also be stuck in a hand. Now in this case, the DPS will of course all have to switch to the tank's hand and get them out as well. We found the easiest order of empowerment to be orange, purple and then finally green. By limiting the amount of people assigned to dealing with the runes, we found that it was a lot easier to make sure that the empowered runes were dealt with properly. When we were dealing with the purple empowerment, our 5 assigned DPS had to make sure that they would get to the middle of the room in time to deal with the runes, because afterwards they would still have to get back to the group in time to deal with abilities such as Pound and the hands. At 30%, Kormrok will enrage, increasing his haste, and he will now keep the empowerments. Meaning this is a soft enrage mechanic and you'll want to use heroism at this point. Now there's one detail I haven't actually mentioned yet about the empowerments, and that's that the empowerments will empower the next 3 abilities. So even if you empower orange first and then purple, when he empowers the purple he will still have 1 stack left of powering his runes. So in short, stack loosely for the hands, spread for Pound, dodge the waves of goo, and use personal cooldowns if you can to deal with the runes. When the runes are empowered, look towards the middle of the runes before standing on it, and when purple empowerment is up, tank him with your back towards the wall. When a tank gets routed by explosive burst, be sure to move away. If you liked this raiding guide, please comment, subscribe and click the like button to help us out. If you would like to keep up with when new videos come out but you don't have a YouTube account, you can also follow us on Twitter or Facebook at twitter.com/bmessy or facebook.com/wowweekly. Also, be sure to check out our written content on our website wowweekly.net. For now, I'm Mezzy, and I'll see you again next time.